Since a Clayberg was mentioned in Allie's diary, I looked him up in the Ypsilanti commercial. I don't know if it's Professor Clayberg or if he had a son, but he's mentioned in this article, prosperity of our city. Ypsilanti is truly a favored city. It has felt the panic less than any place of its size in the entire West. We have not had one failure. Our businessmen, tradesmen, and manufacturing interests are growing and prospering. Our manufacturing products, as for instance, beach shifting seat carriages and sleighs, whip sockets, gas governors, telegraphic instruments, washing machines, pumps, etc., are being sent to the ends of the earth. New dwellings are constantly, I apologize for the moving camera, to the ends of the earth. New dwellings are constantly going up. Old residences are being repaired and beautified. There is great demand. All right, see if we can get on the page here. Great demand for houses to rent. It's not going to move on its own. Never more so. All our paper mills are running on full time and paying out hundreds of dollars weekly. Our schools were never more flourishing. The Union School under Professor Clayberg is gaining its old-time popularity. The normal school, with one of the most prominent educators in the country at its head, Professor Estabrook, who we've seen before or heard of before, is filled up to repletion. 126 applications of new students on the first day of opening this fall and still coming. But on a quiet and pleasant Saturday night, about 7:30 or 8 o'clock, walk along the business portions of Huron, Congress, and Washington streets, and you will think of Broadway, New York. I don't know about that. As you wedge your way through the throng, just cast your eyes up and down the hitching places on the street, and you are surprised at the long and thick row of carriages and wagons. It is just so on Green Street, I think it says, at the depot. If you still doubt, compare the advertising columns of the commercial with our neighbors at Ann Arbor and other localities. We are thinking through compulsion to satisfy our readers and meet the growing demands of the business interests of the city of selling our newspaper, steam cylinder press, and buying a larger one. The fact is, Ypsilanti is in a healthy condition, and one of the most important helps has been the Detroit, Hillsdale, and Indiana Railroad. Our Ann Arbor neighbors are shrewd enough to see this and honestly confess it. This is from the Ypsilanti commercial, September 26, 1874. A little ahead of the diary at this point, but that's a mention of Mr. What was his name again? Pardons, Clayberg. Let's go back to the results. I think there was one more mention of Clayberg. Very slow internet. Let's see what we got here. There was another mention of Professor Clayberg. Professor Clayberg. Loading rather slowly at this point, bruvs. See what it says. Professor McGill, formerly of Port Huron, is selected to take the place of Professor Clayberg as principal of our seminary. So it looks like Clayberg was at the seminary, and that's after. So he must have left the Union School and went to the seminary. I believe there's two more mentions, but I see nothing highlighted for him in here. Let's see if we can find them. That last one was from 1875. Clayberg, it shows nothing. Find Clayberg. These search functions are not always functional. Yeah, I'm not going to read this whole page. If I do come across it, I will. Let's see if I can scan through it quickly. Quickly! There it is, Professor Clayberg. See? I am rewarded for my diligence. It is with pleasure we record the election of Professor Clayberg, so long and acceptably superintendent of our union schools, to the superintendency of the schools in Pontiac. Our Pontiac neighbors could not do better. That's May 12th, 1877. And since I had success on that one, let's go back to this search. Well, there are 6 of them, it says. The following report for December was submitted by G.M. Clayberg, principal. That was 1872. And then there's G.M. Clayberg, 1874, which is August 1st, which is recent. Then let's find this 1875. See if we can find Clayberg again. Is that him right there? It's the Union School. I don't see Clayberg. Where is he? There he is. Professor Clayberg ends his connection with the school this year. He is intending to spend 1 year in Germany. During the 6 years he has been connected with the school, 2 years in the science department and the remaining 4 as principal of the school, he has acquitted himself creditably and has made it a success. It is now in a prosperous condition, and if his successor does as well, no fault will be found. The closing exercises come off Friday evening, but too late for a report in this issue. So that's from June 26, 1875, which is roughly a month before Allie succumbs to consumption. And Clayberg, written before, a year beforehand, goes on to other adventures. All right, that should be all for now.